Okay, this is Mark Farrar with Not Square Design, looking at the Belshire residence. Kind of got your floor laid out, got the pocket door in there you wanted. Um, this area right here, the square disappeared, but there's a. Oh, it's because I have the CAD layer turned off. So there is a CAD layer that goes there, and I can turn that on. But basically, just imagine there is a square right here, and that is that trap door. My next chore is to build those stairs so I can represent those to Greg. I had never heard back from him, but he was very positive in our conversation, so I feel pretty good about it. This green shading that you see has just helped me keep track of roofs because when I go upstairs, oops, did that on the wrong side of the drawing. There's something going on my other side of the screen. But click on here, then go up, and the red lines, I'll make them disappear because they don't matter to us too much, except maybe Nick will want to look. There's the existing wall, and they'll put the beam in here to handle that downstairs. And I'll probably show that pretty soon just so you can see what it looks like. But let's turn that off. None of this stuff is placed because I don't know where we want a bathroom yet. And down at this end of the house, I left these pieces in case we still want to go with an attic truss or bonus room truss or whatever you'd like to call it. And I'll show you again what that looks like. So this is just kind of a room that's out here. It's not an open balcony. It'd be very narrow if we brought this wall all the way down. So I just left it open rail and don't really have a purpose for it. And we could actually pull it back, but it does help with the drainage or the covered connection between here for your walkway. And you can see that when I do go downstairs, because this roof comes over, and right now I didn't have this. I pulled it back because I was working on a beam that would not connect. It wouldn't build right. So now it's actually overlapping. And so now we're covered, and we'll probably want to pull that out. Let's just pull it out 6 inches, and then we'll be able to see what that looks like from the 3D perspective. So this is the upper roof. It does cover your whole porch area, which comes out. This is a beam there, and in this drawing, I guess I don't need to see the floor beams, so I'm going to pause for a second, turn those off. Okay, so with those off, I can see as a post. Kind of makes it a little easier to determine. This is the steps up, and then your deck. So you can walk in, downstairs, into the laundry. It does show the wall crossing, but it's not. That's just the upper attic wall. Here it's clean, and you'll see it in 3D. So let's switch over to that 3D view. We did get that full kitchen, and as far as this stuff goes, let's just stretch it down. It's going to be kind of weird looking. And heck, before I do that, let's see what we had. This was 48 inches wide. So I'm actually just going to grab that. Let's grab this whole thing. I'm going to get those lights, unfortunately. And I'll get 2 stoves. But we're going to copy about the center point. That'll bring us the extra chairs. Now we can just get rid of that. And get rid of... Let's tab. Let's see if I can get rid of just that. And then we could center this, or however you'd like that. I would think that we'll maybe do an end cabinet, center this down, and another end cabinet down here, and put this more down towards the middle. I can't move it right now because of the cabinet configuration. It's pretty easy to change, so I'm going to do that real quick too. I'm going to pause again. So now that we have this widened out kitchen, we'll need to copy these lights down and stuff, but for right now it'll work. So this is how big that kitchen bar can be, and I think now that I've got that straightened out, we can actually go into the 3D view, but it looks like I accidentally mirrored that as well. That's just the underhang. Let's get into 3D because then I can explain some more of the things that we need to be looking at. And here we are upstairs. And this is what I'm talking about, those two end pieces where the attic trusses would go. And in the drawings before, we discussed these would be truss members up through here. And then this would be drywall underneath. And I can fake in a ceiling, or actually put in a ceiling in that point. But this is just conceptual until we decide what we want to do, as in, are we going to do this? Because what it allowed us to do was create this dormer. I mirrored this to the other side, but now that we moved this door down to accommodate for the stairs, I can't necessarily build these attic trusses all the way through. So I'd have to look at how that would look, but we might be able to put support here and get you attic trusses, and then we'll coordinate the bathroom as to how you would want it to be, and then add a window to this side. So this is that big empty bonus room. We just have the components up here that we've been discussing, with the exception of we need the sink and the vanity. This is that just space at the top. What that would be used for, I'm not sure, but we are still in conceptual stage, so we've got plenty to figure out. Handrail, I'll have to get it to work through this section so you don't fall off. But until we get happy with what we're doing here, I'm not going to worry too much. So we're just going to walk down, and then of course we would open the door, not walk through it. And when you look around, this is your deck, and this is where we go back into the laundry room. So right now, I don't have any finishes on this ceiling because we're just conceptual, so I'm not going to go to that extent to get a design down. But what I have is a beam in your wall system coming over to this post. We'll have to hang it off that post because this post goes all the way up to carry that roof. And this roof overhang will continue out the way that your house actually looks, and get these coming all the way out to the end. And then I need to talk to you about terminations, and we'll do that here in a second. So walking down the stairs, and then you'd be in your backyard. And we got to stay kind of tight here because you have your neighbors next door. And we have not dealt with the built-on shed to this yet, because we're mainly working on how to make this happen so that you can still get your garbage out to the alley. And then when we look back at the house, what I've done is above your existing masonry wall is I've sided this, and maybe we can get the siding to cover this and make it look a little nicer. And then we have the siding here, and we did do a pretty tall shed roof to get that snow to stay away from the front of the garage. And I believe this is a 312, and I really don't like going much less than a 312, and yes, it is a 312. You can see right there. So now that we're outside, you can see kind of what this roof is looking like, and we'll talk about the end treatments here in a second, because what I did is I've got your roof style, and whether or not you've got the money to put these corbels up here, they're only decorative. Remember, they don't have any support, so they're just a bunch of 4x4s with a little chamfer on the end, and they can just be attached to the bottom of that tongue and groove to match what you have. So that become a budget issue. And then it's how do we finish these end caps? And there's a couple different things we could do. You can see down here we have a corner, but in the interest of not making this too expensive, I kept this as a full gable end. Now, whether or not we want to take this window, and I would say, yeah, let's just go ahead and do something like, center it right on the ridge, and there you go. So, and we can make it wider too. I mean, that thing can become quite a bit wider. So I can pull this out, and it'll probably double up if I do this. Go a foot that way, and then pull it over into so get a nicer window in there, get some extra light. And what happened here? Looks like, let's see what happens when I reverse the wall. Nope. So what's happening here is there's something about those interior walls that I put in here is making it think that these were outside walls. So on the exterior, for now, all I'm going to do is paint it. And I'll take this material, grab it, there, and that should at least make it look pretty good for right now. This is that same trim board that we had around the house, and it may, there it is right there, and there was a piece down below it, and that probably got stripped out. I'll have to put that back, or it got moved up. When this roof got built, sometimes Chief likes to try and figure things out that I'm not what happened. Oh, there, look at that. I got backwards. That's why I can't move that in close enough. I keep wondering why I can't move that in. So sometimes these tours help me. So the roof here, it's a standard 2-foot overhang everywhere. So this comes out 2 feet and then away from the wall 2 feet and then returns. And it's just enough so that we're getting an overlap here, which blowing, drifting snow, we're still gonna get some in there, but for the most part, it'll keep this clear. And that is what we're looking at. So just looking for some feedback, and we'll discuss how these returns work. We can return there. This return we have here, we can do a return here to match. We can also, I can work on doing a corner in that's kind of like a 45, and I'll get you a picture or something like that so you can see it. But I said I'd keep this short, so I'm going to stop, and we'll talk soon. This is Mark with Not Square Design. Have a good evening.